UNIMAS to host International WAQF Conference in March. BAU targets 1.8 billion ringgit in GRP by 2030. Now, Budget 2023 empower health and education sectors in BAU. These are the headlines for tonight. You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, and this is TVS Nightline. Premier Sarawak Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg is scheduled to grace the International WAQF Conference. The event, organized by University of Malaysia Sarawak, will gather some 300 delegates from all corners of the world from March 16 to 17.
Dan kita menjangkakan ada seramai 9 pembentang kertas kerja berkaitan dengan aspek endowment dan wakaf yang akan dibentangkan oleh speakers daripada dalam dan juga luar negara. Dan juga kita menjangkakan kemungkinan ada dalam 300 peserta yang akan hadir pada International Conference dan International Conference Wakaf Endowment ini. Tujuannya adalah beberapa perkara. Pertamanya adalah untuk memberi kesedaran kepada komuniti tentang betapa pentingnya aspek wakaf sebagai salah satu cabang ekonomi.
Elaborating further, Dr. Kadim said the Sarawak General Hospital will also be launching a health fund at the festival.
Dan juga kita akan melancarkan apa yang kita panggil tabung kesihatan wakaf, khusus untuk membantu mereka yang memerlukan bantuan bagi diagnosis dan juga treatment kanser. So ini adalah kerjasama di antara UNIMAS dengan Sarawak General Hospital.
He said this after a courtesy visit to the Premier of Sarawak, Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg at Wisma Bapa Malaysia on Friday. BAU District aims to achieve a gross regional product (GRP) worth 1.8 billion ringgit by 2030. Now, Tasik Biru Assemblyman Datuk Henry Jinep said in order to achieve such a target, the district needs to upgrade certain components of development. As such, he said that this would include the coming plans from the Greater Kuching Coordinated Development Agency or GKCDA projects under the Project Rakyat and the implementation of the Sarawak Malaysia My Second Home program in BAU, as well as to the efforts to make sure Serikin would be part of the 1 billion ringgit allocation for the development of Sarawak's and Sabah's borders.
Henry further revealed that it was projected that BAU could contribute 800 million ringgit GRP per year based on an initial report done by the appointed consultant for the Greater BAU Master Plan engaged by Sarawak Economic Plan Unit EPU, an amount he considered too low.
Now, what they have projected, we need to upgrade certain component of development in order to achieve 1.8 billion GRP. So with this GKCDA, Greater Kuching coming in, and also part of other project rakyat, and also the new approved 1 billion by the unity government under the Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar, 1 billion for the border development. We don't want to miss that opportunity. Make sure you capture that. 1 billion must be also in Serikin. Part of it is because we need to develop it because Serikin is very near. Serikin is close proximity to the airport compared to Serian, Antikong, and Arok Biawak.
At the same time, Henry said the coming plans for BAU under JKCDA will be a separate exercise from the projects planned under the blueprint for BAU District 2016 to 2030.
It is hoped that Budget 2023 would introduce and channel more initiatives that cater for the upgrades of infrastructure as well as to its health and education sectors in BAU District. which has a population of more than 60,000 people. Now, Tasik Biru Assemblyman Dato' Henry Jinep said he hopes Budget 2023 will lay out plans to implement projects for those sectors.
The budget could bring about fruitful strategic development plans and implementation for the upgrading of public facilities in the said district.
Keperluan asas rakyat perlu satu hospital bau. Sudah 30 lebih tahun kita perlu penambahbaikan ataupun upgrading kerana terlalu sesak dan bangunan pun sudah uzur. Kita memerlukan dana untuk menaik taraf hospital bawah. Itu yang utama. Yang kedua, sekolah. Sekolah daib dan juga sekolah-sekolah yang dilanda banjir. Ini masalah dia. Ini dua isu yang utama di bawah. Dan kita memerlukan sangat sekolah menengah di bawah. Satu lagi.
He was met after officiating the Greater Kuching Coordinated Development Agency GKCDA Tasik Biru Mini Lab held at Riverside Majestic Hotel here today. GKCDA was established to develop 8 Bidayuh majority constituencies in Kuching and Serian divisions. GKCDA is one of the 9 regional agencies under the state government that will receive 1.5 billion ringgit in funds to implement socio-economic development projects in their respective areas.
The Unit for Other Religions, UNIFOR, will be repairing old and run-down graveyards in rural areas as part of its expanded role. The Minister of Food Industry, Commodities and Regional Development, Dato' Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Utom, said the repairs were necessary, as many traditional graveyards, such as those belonging to Iban communities, are in poor condition. Rundi, who is also Kemena Assemblyman, said UNIFOR will also be assisting followers of other faiths to repair their respective cemeteries and give financial aid. He added that communities that require such assistance can request for it. He said this after presenting UNIFOR checks to 7 missionary schools from Cebu, Maradong and Sarike. Commenting on aid to missionary schools, Rundi said UNIFOR will also provide aid to schools in terms of rehabilitation, maintenance, and ICT procurement for students, especially in rural areas. A total of 826,770 ringgit was awarded to 7 schools based on request. The Sarawak Marine Police Region 5 have seized 10,000 litres of diesel worth about 152,000 ringgit during an operation codenamed Op Contraband from a warehouse at Jalan Ding Lekuang in Cebu. Now, Cebu Police Chief Assistant Commissioner of Police Zulkifli Suhaili said a 34-year-old suspect was also arrested during the operation.
Hasil pemeriksaan yang dijalankan oleh pasukan Polis Medan Cebu pada tengah hari Khamis mendapati seorang lelaki warga tempatan yang mengakui sebagai penjaga gudang gagal mengumpulkan sebarang bukti berhubungan iaitu kebenaran memilih, menyimpan, membawa barang kawalan tanpa permit atau lesen yang sah dari Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri.
Police seized a tanker and 3 tanks with 10,000 litres of diesel, and the seized items were handed over to KPD NHEP Cebu for further action. The case is being investigated under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. Individuals found guilty of violating the Control of Supplies Act 1961 may face a fine of up to 1 million ringgit or a jail sentence for a term of up to 3 years or both, while companies or organizations can be fined up to 3 million ringgit.
In a bid to provide opportunities for local entrepreneurs to market their products overseas, the Federal Agricultural Marketing Authority, or FAMA, will be organizing the Sarawak Farmer Fest 2023, or the SAFF 2023. According to its Deputy Director, Ramli Matsani, the event, which will be held from February 23rd to 26th, will allow entrepreneurs the opportunity to promote their products to other countries such as Brunei, Thailand, China, and Hong Kong.
So kini kita akan adakan satu program agak besar lah. Kita anggap satu program besar yang akan melibatkan lebih kurang dalam 40 orang usahawan yang terdiri daripada usahawan industri asas tani dan usahawan pengeluar pertanian. Dan mereka akan jual terus kepada pengguna. Fokus target kami adalah pengguna di Miri dan juga pengguna di Brunei. So di samping itu juga program ini sebenarnya memberikan satu inisiatif kepada pengguna juga, dan kami akan menjual dengan harga yang agak berpatutan kepada pengguna dan memberi peluang juga kepada usahawan memasarkan, mempromosikan produk-produk mereka sama ada kepada pengguna di Miri, pengguna di sekitar Miri, Bintulu, Sibu sehingga ke Limbang dan Lawas, dan juga target utama kami adalah usahawan tersebut dapat memasarkan produk-produk mereka ke Brunei. Ke Brunei. Di samping itu juga, selain daripada ejen-ejen pemasar di Brunei, kami juga ada menjemput beberapa lagi ejen-ejen pengimport, iaitu daripada Hong Kong, China dan Thailand. Ini adalah fokus utama kami.
He said this at the SAF 2023 media briefing at the Pharma Sarawak office on Friday. Adding to that, Ramli said Pharma is targeting SAF 2023 to generate 500,000 ringgit in sales and attract around 20,000 visitors from Miri and Brunei. SAF 2023 will be officiated by Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Chan Foon Hing. Ramli said Pharma will introduce a Rahmah package involving the sale of local farmers' products through the Farm Direct Sales JTDL initiative in conjunction with SAF 2023, with package prices starting from 10 ringgit.
Coming up right after the break, our special report on the fluffy members of K9 units, sniffer dogs, fur angels. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, K9 units are an essential part of law enforcement and search and rescue operations around the world. They are used to detect illegal substances, explosives, and even human remains. Not only are these dogs highly skilled, but they also provide an exceptional level of loyalty and companionship to their handlers. The bond between a K9 and its handler is unique and special, built on trust and respect as they power through missions to protect and serve. Join us with our reporter Lorenzo Isaac on a special report on Fire and Rescue Bomba Department and their furry friends.
Wilf, Daisy, Bella, Bailey, Sue, and Cliff's day begins as early as 9:30 a.m. The Labrador, Border Collie, and Spring Spaniel are breeds issued to the state Bomba in 2018, which originated from the United Kingdom. The six, however, weren't too fond of the hot weather. Depending on the weather, the hour-long training session may at times begin at 10:30 a.m., donning harnesses to signify that they are at work.
Setiap pagi, semasa pertukaran ataupun masuk shift kerja, para pemegang ni dia akan datang ke kennel untuk membuat pemeriksaan anjing. Pemeriksaan anjing adalah kita mengikut berdasarkan kepada checklist yang sedia ada di sini. Kita akan cek dari segi tingkah laku anjing, dia punya sorak tegasan, lepas tu ada ke tidak perubahan dari segi anjing dari semalam ke hari ini. Lepas tu mereka akan bawa anjing untuk grooming. Apabila grooming ini mereka akan memeriksa keseluruhan badan anjing tu. Takut ada luka ataupun ada kutu ke apa ke. Lepas tu mereka akan buat grooming, iaitu seperti sikat anjing, cuci telinga anjing. Itu adalah rutin harian kita punya pemegang yang bekerja di sini.
Trained in 3 disciplines, namely cadaver, wilderness and fire investigation. Each discipline consists of 2 dogs. The training sessions are held 3 to 4 times a week to prepare the dogs to be mission ready. The dogs have faithfully carried out their duties and unconditional service, being involved in over 32 operations statewide from 2022 to February this year.
Ini adalah anjing saya yang kedua yang bernama Cliff, berasal dari UK, berumur lebih kurang dekat 6 tahun. Okay, skop tugas Cliff ialah mencari mangsa lemas di darat atau peruntuhan. Mencari mangsa lemas di sungai dan runtuhan landslide lah.
Ini nama anjing saya, nama Wif. Berumur sekarang pun dah dekat 6 tahun. Dia bahagian penyiasatan kebakaran, anjing penyiasatan kebakaran, di mana kalau ada rumah terbakar ataupun kilang, apa-apa yang melibatkan kebakaran termasuk kenderaan, so anjing ni akan pergi ke tempat operasi itu untuk mengesan punca-punca kebakaran yang melibatkan cecair yang mudah terbakar seperti petrol, diesel, salah satu contohnya lah. Ada banyak lagi dia punya punca kebakaran.
Nama saya Dibende Bahong Namiki, berasal dari Kampung Bajuang Sebuyau. Telah berkhidmat dalam Jabatan Bomba 10 tahun. Dan ini adalah anjing pengesan wilderness. Namanya Desi, berasal dari United Kingdom, berumur 6 tahun. Tugas Desi adalah untuk mengesan mangsa sesat di hutan. Itu adalah tugas utama dia lah.
Despite the public's perception that dogs under this unit undergo harsh training, Kenneth Masir, a handler, debunked this misconception.
Benda yang pertama, anjing kena minat bola. Bola asas dia. Kalau anjing tu minat bola, baru senang kita nak train dia. Okey. Dari bola, kita akan berubah kepada bau. Tapi dengan kuantiti yang banyak dulu. Dari banyak kita ubah kepada sederhana banyak kepada sikit lagi, lepas tu dari sikit dan lagi sikit.
On Thursday, one of the sniffer dogs, Daisy, successfully located a missing 2-year-old boy in Smatan after he went missing for nearly 24 hours. It was reported that the toddler, Muhammad Ryan Bujang Abdul Qayyum, more affectionately called Bujang, went missing nearby a quarries workers' quarters on Wednesday, February 15.
There is so much thing that we can learn from a dog, and there is one quote that we can live by, that is, a dog love is much more purer than a human. I'm Lorenzo Isaac and videographer Ahmad Nasrullah reporting for TVS Serian.
Malaysia and Singapore are committed to bolster their collaboration in modern agriculture to advancing the food securities in their respective countries. Therefore, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security said in a statement today the significance of developing modern agriculture and the application of smart technology were among the matters discussed between Singapore's High Commissioner to Malaysia, Vanu Gopala Menon, and Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dato' Sri Muhammad Sabu, at Menara Lembaga Pertubuhan Peladang on Thursday.
Muhammad also stressed that food supply stability is a global issue and would need to be addressed jointly by both countries, as Malaysia has invited Singapore to invest in the modern agriculture sector, thus able to increase the food supply together. Both countries have given their full commitment to strengthening bilateral trade in agriculture, thus achieving the goal of a sustainable and continuous source of food supply. From January to October of 2022, the value of Malaysia-Singapore trade in the agricultural sector is 15.99 billion ringgit.
Climate change is already impacting health in a myriad of ways, including increasingly extreme weather patterns such as cyclones, heat waves, floods, and earthquakes that lead to death and illness. Therefore, the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, has urged the Malaysian government to adopt the green budgeting approach to fulfill its commitments against climate change while moving forward. In a statement, it said it is crucial for the government to take the lead in the country's response to the challenges associated with climate change and set an example by reducing the impact of its activities on the environment.
Head of Maritime Southeast Asia portfolio, Andrew Lim, added that this highlights the importance of green budgeting, which is to integrate climate change and environmental considerations into budget processes and decision-making. Andrew continues by saying that under the 12th Malaysia Plan, the country aims to reduce its greenhouse gas emission intensity by 45% against the gross domestic product by 2030 and eventually become carbon neutral by 2050. Hence, ACCA urged that all finance professionals should be at the center of green budgeting approaches in public sector organization. The ACCA lauded the Malaysian government's intention to make green economy as one of the key focus areas under the upcoming revised budget 2023, which is set to be tabled in Parliament next Friday.
Back on TVS Nightline, and a teenage girl was pulled alive from the rubble in Turkey on Thursday, February 16, more than 10 days after an earthquake that has killed more than 42,000 people in the country and neighboring Syria. A video released by Sakarya municipality showed rescue workers surrounding the 17-year-old girl before she was covered in a blanket and carried away.
The teen was rescued in Turkey's southeastern Kahramanmaraş province 248 hours since the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that struck in the dead of night on February 6. Meanwhile, a 13-year-old boy was pulled from the rubble of a destroyed building in Antakya on Wednesday, February 15, more than 228 hours after the earthquake struck. Video footage released by Istanbul municipality showed the moment the young teenager, Mustafa, was rescued and carried away by emergency teams. The combined death toll in Turkey and Syria has climbed to more than 41,000 and millions are in need of humanitarian aid, with many survivors having been left homeless in near-freezing winter temperatures.
Despite having gone through a devastating disaster, Turkey's ruling party, Justice and Development Party, remained steadfast on its general election, with the two date options on the table unchanged. Now, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan wants the vote to be held on May 14, while several of his fellow party members want it to be June 18. But clearly, there is no intention to postpone the elections to a much later date.
A local Turkey news media reported that the Turkish Supreme Election Council would work on a voting process for the public who move away from the earthquake zones and for those who stayed in the affected parts of the country. However, Turkish broadcaster Haberturk reported, while citing sources, that the general election in Turkey can be postponed for a period from 6 months to a year, with election council expected to authorize the postponement at the request of the ruling government. Meral Akşener, leader of Turkey's opposition party, urged the Turkey's government not to use the disaster as an excuse to postpone the vote. On February 6, parts of Turkey and Syria were hit by a series of powerful earthquakes and aftershocks, which caused the death toll from the disaster has exceeded 36,000.
A new street sport is emerging from Rwanda's capital of Kigali since last year, and it quickly got the young and old to participate in the game. Street tennis, a sport that was inspired by a partnership with the Barbados government after their official visit last November. Eric Muhawe-Nimana is one of the many Rwandans who have welcomed the sport, as the game is very affordable and can be played by anyone, provided they have the space.
In the beginning, it was very complicated to us because we didn't know the rules of playing. It is understandable that something new really challenges someone in one way or the other. We needed to learn first how to play.
The smaller courts means the players must move very quickly to hit the swerve from their opponents. Muhawe-Nimana says it can get tiring. When you feel tired, you can ask your teammate to take over. It is very enjoyable.
We enjoy this very much. There are not many rules in this game. We win and lose. Once you get tired, your colleague replaces you and you take a small break, which later creates a strong relationship.
On car-free days in Rwanda, local authorities would turn the streets of Kigali into mini courts where the public can participate in the game.
The United Nations plans to slash food aid to Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh. The UN blamed a funding shortfall for cuts that agencies warn would deepen food insecurity and malnutrition in the world's largest refugee settlement.
The World Food Programme, WFP, said it will reduce the value of its food assistance from $12 per person to $10 starting next month. It added donor budgets have been stretched by the pandemic, economic downturn, and crisis across the globe. The WFP appealed for $125 million in urgent funding, warning of immense and long-lasting repercussion on food security and nutrition in camps rife with malnutrition, where more than a third of children are stunted and underweight. Two UN special reporters warned of the devastating consequence of the funding shortfall, saying it was unconscionable to cut rations before the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Moreover, Rohingya are barred from working to supplement their income, and Bangladesh has constructed fences around the camps that stop them from leaving. About 730,000 Rohingya, a persecuted mostly Muslim minority from Myanmar's Rakhine state, fled to Bangladesh in 2017 to escape an army crackdown carried out with genocidal intent, including others who left in prior waves. Nearly 1 million live in huts made of bamboo and plastic sheets.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. More headlines anytime at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thanks for watching and have a good night.